The glittering lights of Hollywood often blind us to the fragile reality of the human condition, making us forget that the larger-than-life icons we see on the silver screen are ultimately subject to the same vulnerabilities, heartaches, and unpredictable twists of fate as the rest of us. For decades, the global cinematic landscape has been dominated by figures who seemed completely indestructible, men who could dodge explosions, outsmart international villains, and single-handedly save the world before the end credits rolled. We grew up watching these modern-day gladiators redefine resilience, creating an unspoken expectation that they would remain forever unchanged, frozen in their prime as symbols of absolute strength and determination. When the reality of aging and illness touches these cultural titans, it sends a profound shockwave through the collective consciousness of millions of fans worldwide, forcing a quiet contemplation on the passage of time and the delicate nature of health. It reminds us that behind the multi-million-dollar franchises, the red carpet glamour, and the thunderous applause of packed theaters, there lies a deeply private world where families must confront devastating challenges away from the studio cameras. These moments of vulnerability do not diminish their legacy. Instead, they add a layer of profound humanity to characters who once seemed completely untouchable. As we navigate our own daily lives, finding solace and entertainment in the stories projected onto screens, we rarely consider the immense personal battles being fought behind closed doors by the very people who provide us with inspiration. If you want to stay informed about these deeply moving human stories and the real lives of the figures who shaped modern culture, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications so you never miss an update on the stories that truly matter. The narrative of celebrity culture is shifting, moving away from mere gossip toward a deeper, more empathetic understanding of the real challenges faced by public figures. This transition highlights the incredible importance of solidarity, awareness, and accurate information when families are suddenly thrust into a completely unfamiliar and overwhelming reality. For one particular family, which has been in the international spotlight for generations due to their immense talent and charisma, the journey over the past few years has been nothing short of a profound transformation, marked by courage, unity, and an unwavering commitment to truth. They have chosen to transform their personal grief into a powerful beacon of education, challenging the deeply ingrained stereotypes and widespread misunderstandings that surround neurological health. This is a story that goes far beyond the boundaries of cinema, touching upon the universal experience of love, caregiving, and the relentless pursuit of clarity in the face of an unpredictable medical diagnosis. The world watched in absolute silence as a legendary career came to an unexpected halt, leaving behind a void that could never truly be filled by any successor. The silence from the inner circle was not one of defeat, but rather a period of quiet adjustment, a time to gather strength and understand the complex path that lay ahead for a man who had given so much of his life to entertaining the masses. In the echo of that silence, a powerful voice has emerged from within the household, determined to break through the noise of speculation and provide the world with a vital lesson in medical reality. It is a voice driven by love, protective yet incredibly open, seeking to dismantle the myths that often isolate families dealing with complex neurological conditions. The public often jumps to immediate conclusions when a beloved figure steps away from the limelight, filling the informational vacuum with assumptions based on common knowledge rather than medical fact. This tendency to oversimplify complex health issues can inadvertently create a wall of misunderstanding, making it even harder for the public to truly empathize with the specific nuances of what a family is experiencing. By stepping forward into the public forum, the closest allies of this cinematic legend are not just sharing their personal journey. They are actively rewriting the narrative surrounding a condition that remains deeply misunderstood by the vast majority of the population. They are pulling back the curtain on a world where memory is not the central casualty, challenging the deeply held belief that all paths of cognitive decline follow the exact same trajectory. This revelation forces us to look closer, to listen more carefully, and to appreciate the intricate architecture of the human mind, which can falter in ways that are both devastating and entirely unexpected. The atmosphere surrounding this ongoing journey is one of quiet dignity, where every public statement is carefully weighed to ensure it brings light rather than shadow to a situation that affects millions of ordinary people worldwide. As the days pass, the true nature of this battle is becoming clearer, revealing a narrative of profound resilience, deep familial bonds, and a determination to educate a world that is often too quick to generalize. The story begins not with a sudden collapse, but with subtle shifts that only those closest could truly perceive, setting off a chain of events that would eventually redefine everything they thought they knew about the future. It is a testament to the power of family solidarity, showing how a diverse group of individuals can come together as a singular, unbreakable unit to protect and honor a man who meant the world to them and to millions of fans globally. As we prepare to delve deeper into the specific medical realities and the profound insights shared by those on the front lines of this caregiving journey, we are reminded of the immense value of accurate knowledge over casual assumption. The path forward is long and filled with challenges that test the limits of human endurance, yet the spirit of advocacy remains entirely undiminished, promising to bring a newfound understanding to a disease that has lingered in the shadows of public awareness for far too long. The turning point in this public and private journey occurred when the family made the brave decision to share the specific nature of the medical reality they were facing, moving past the initial, broader descriptions to pinpoint a condition that remains largely invisible to the mainstream public. When Emma Heming Willis stepped onto the platform of a popular podcast, she did not just speak as the wife of a global superstar, but as a deeply informed advocate determined to shatter the pervasive myths that complicate the lives of countless families globally. She addressed the fundamental truth that frontotemporal dementia, or FTD, is vastly different from the conditions most people automatically envision when they hear the word dementia. The human brain is an incredibly complex map of distinct regions, each responsible for different aspects of our humanity, and FTD specifically targets the frontal and temporal lobes, areas that govern personality, behavior, movement, and language rather than the storage of memories. This distinction is crucial because the general public almost universally equates dementia with Alzheimer's disease, leading to an immediate and incorrect assumption that anyone with a diagnosis must instantly forget who their loved ones are. Emma directly confronted this specific misconception, clarifying that her husband absolutely knows who his family members are, including his 5 daughters, because the disease has not ravaged the parts of the brain responsible for his personal history and identity. She explained with profound clarity that FTD actually manifests in 3 distinct variants, each tracking a completely different path of neurological deterioration through the brain. The variant that the iconic actor is currently battling is one that directly impacts language and communication, a particularly poignant reality for a man whose career was built on the powerful delivery of memorable dialogue and commanding screen presence. Another variant of this cruel condition primarily alters a person's behavior and personality traits, while the third variant manifests through the steady degradation of physical movement and motor skills. By breaking down these clinical variations on a public stage, Emma provided a vital masterclass in neurological health, helping the world understand that a lack of verbal articulation does not equate to a loss of awareness or an absence of love. The realization that dementia can strike without immediately stealing a person's memories is a revelation that challenges the conventional understanding of cognitive illness, forcing a massive shift in how society views and interacts with those who are diagnosed. It underscores the immense frustration that patients must feel when their internal world remains intact, yet their ability to signal that reality to the outside world through traditional speech is systematically compromised. The family's transparency has brought to light the agonizingly slow process of securing an accurate diagnosis for frontotemporal dementia, a hurdle that frustrates thousands of ordinary families who find themselves wandering through a maze of medical confusion for years. Because the initial symptoms of FTD often involve changes in mood, language fluency, or subtle behavioral shifts rather than blatant memory slips, it is frequently misdiagnosed as depression, a psychological crisis, or other midlife psychiatric conditions. This diagnostic delay means that by the time a family finally receives a definitive answer, the disease has often advanced significantly, robbing them of precious time to plan, adapt, and seek specialized support. The Willis family openly acknowledged this painful reality when they noted that the true prevalence of FTD is likely much higher than official statistics suggest, simply because so many individuals go undiagnosed or are misidentified for the entirety of their illness. This specific type of dementia holds another devastating distinction that sets it apart from more widely known cognitive diseases, as it is the most common form of dementia for individuals under the age of 60. This means it strikes people during the absolute peak of their lives, during their prime working years when they are actively raising families, building careers, and planning for a future that is suddenly and completely rewritten. The financial, emotional, and psychological toll on a household when a primary breadwinner or a core parental figure is diagnosed in their 40s or 50s is astronomical, creating a unique set of challenges that traditional senior care systems are simply not designed to handle. The progression of the actor's condition has required structural changes in how the family manages daily life, including the difficult but necessary arrangement of living in separate, specialized environments to ensure he receives the precise level of care required as the illness advances. This choice reflects the bittersweet reality of long-term caregiving, where love is demonstrated not through a stubborn refusal to accept help, but through the willingness to make heartbreaking adjustments that prioritize the safety, comfort, and dignity of the person changing before your eyes. Emma, at 47, has found herself thrust into a dual role as a dedicated mother to their young daughters, Mabel and Evelyn, and as a primary strategist in navigating a relentless medical storm. Simultaneously, this journey has unified an exceptionally modern and public blended family, bringing together Bruce's ex-wife Demi Moore and his 3 adult daughters, Rumor, Scout, and Tallulah, into an unbreakable circle of mutual support and shared responsibility. They have collectively chosen to stand shoulder to shoulder, pooling their immense public platforms to amplify a message of awareness, research, and hope for a future where treatments might finally exist. The sheer weight of maintaining a sense of normalcy for young children while managing the public gaze and the steady decline of a household anchor is a monumental task, one that requires an extraordinary amount of internal fortitude and grace. Every interview given and every statement released is a calculated effort to steer the inevitable media attention away from sensationalism and toward meaningful education, ensuring that their personal trial serves a greater societal purpose. As the public begins to comprehend the true nature of this neurological battle, the initial shock of his retirement from cinema is transforming into a profound respect for the family's collective resilience. The tension between the public's desire to remember the action star as he was and the family's duty to protect him as he is creates a delicate balance, one that Emma navigates with an admirable mix of fierce protectiveness and educational openness. They are showing the world that a medical diagnosis does not erase a person's history, value, or connection to humanity, even when the traditional ways of expressing those bonds are completely transformed by illness. The revelation of these specific details acts as a critical bridge of understanding, allowing the global audience to move past superficial sympathy and enter a space of genuine awareness regarding the complex realities of frontotemporal degeneration. The story is no longer just about the retirement of an actor, it has become an ongoing chronicle of familial love, tested by the absolute limits of biology, pushing the boundaries of what it means to care for someone through the ultimate transition of their life. The profound impact of this journey extends far beyond the borders of a single household, serving as a powerful catalyst for a global conversation on medical research, advocacy, and the true meaning of unconditional love. When the Willis family initially revealed that the legendary star was stepping away from his storied career due to aphasia and later refined that diagnosis to frontotemporal dementia, they knowingly invited the world into their most vulnerable moments. In doing so, they cast a bright, undeniable spotlight on a disease that has historically suffered from a severe lack of public funding, corporate research, and clinical understanding. The heartbreaking reality that there are currently no approved treatments or cures for frontotemporal dementia is a truth that the family refuses to accept as a permanent finality for future generations. Their public statements on the Association for Frontotemporal Degeneration website have consistently emphasized a deep, forward-looking hope that the intense media attention surrounding their personal situation can be harnessed to accelerate scientific discovery and clinical trials. They have effectively transformed a personal tragedy into a monumental public crusade, ensuring that the legacy of a man who spent decades entertaining the world will also include a fundamental role in conquering a devastating neurological condition. This transition from Hollywood royalty to frontline health advocates highlights the incredible strength found within the familial bond, demonstrating that true heroism is not found in the scripted actions of a movie set, but in the quiet, daily decisions to face an incurable illness with honesty and grace. The unity displayed by this unique, blended family offers a beautiful and instructive model of solidarity for millions of caregivers worldwide who are navigating the exact same exhausting terrain in relative anonymity. The seamless cooperation between Emma Heming Willis, Demi Moore, and all 5 of Bruce's daughters, Rumor, Scout, Tallulah, Mabel, and Evelyn, proves that when a crisis strikes, The boundaries of the past can melt away to form an impenetrable shield of protection around a loved one. Each member of this family brings their own unique strength to the caregiving equation, balancing the heavy demands of keeping a young family grounded while supporting adult children as they witness the slow transformation of their beloved father. For the younger daughters, Mabel and Evelyn, growing up under the shadow of a parent's progressive illness requires an immense amount of delicate guidance, a task that Emma approaches with total transparency and an unwavering focus on maintaining joy within the home. Meanwhile, the older daughters use their own established public platforms to share the bittersweet realities of their changing relationships with their father, offering comfort to a generation of young adults who find themselves stepping into caregiving roles far sooner than they ever anticipated. The journey of the action star himself, from a charismatic young actor working on television sets to one of the most recognizable and bankable cinematic icons in global history, adds a layer of profound poignancy to his current chapter. He was an artist who defined eras, a performer whose distinct voice, dry wit, and physical prowess created characters that became embedded in the global cultural fabric. To see this monumental figure adapt to a life defined by quiet spaces, specialized care, and the loss of traditional language is a deeply grounding experience for his audience, stripping away the artificial armor of celebrity to reveal the core human spirit underneath. It forces a collective realization that our value as individuals is not tied to our productivity, our fame, or our ability to articulate words, but to the love we have given and the connections we have built throughout our lives. The family's willingness to speak openly about the necessity of separate living arrangements and specialized care structures is an incredibly brave act of public education, as it directly confronts the misplaced guilt that so many full-time caregivers carry. By demonstrating that professional assistance and tailored environments are acts of profound love rather than abandonment, they provide a sense of validation to countless families who struggle with the physical and emotional exhaustion of long-term cognitive care. This open dialogue helps to destigmatize the practical realities of managing advanced dementia, showing that protecting a patient's dignity often means adjusting the physical space around them to suit their evolving needs. As time marches forward, the ripple effects of their advocacy are already being felt across the medical community, with increased public interest driving donations, awareness, and a renewed sense of urgency among researchers specializing in neurodegenerative disorders. The story of this family is a vivid reminder that while a disease can alter the way a person interacts with the world, it cannot erase the indelible mark they have left upon it, nor can it diminish the depth of the memories shared by those who hold them dear. The legacy of the star remains entirely secure, preserved forever in the frames of his classic films and in the hearts of the millions of fans who continue to find joy in his work. Yet, this current chapter may ultimately prove to be his most impactful, written not by Hollywood screenwriters, but by the fierce devotion of a family that refused to let an illness dictate the terms of his dignity. They have shown that even in the face of an unpredictable and relentless medical diagnosis, it is possible to cultivate a space of profound peace, advocacy, and enduring connection. The global audience continues to watch this journey not with a sense of morbid curiosity, but with a deep, abiding respect for the courage on display, drawing inspiration from a family that stands as a singular, unbreakable unit in the storm. As we reflect on the lessons shared by Emma and the entire family, we are left with a deeper appreciation for the fragility of health, the vital importance of accurate medical awareness, and the limitless power of a love that adapts, endures, and fights for a better tomorrow for everyone affected by this silent disease. Their journey reminds us all that the true measure of a life well lived is found in the strength of the community we build.